Hi, I'm David Phelps, the CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. I have the privilege and the honor to do quite a few one-to-one Freedom Blueprint consulting days with our Freedom Founders members. Our Freedom Founders members come in a wide range of ages. Probably the youngest in our tribe is about 36 years old, and the range is all the way up to probably early mid-60s. And what I find is there's some common themes in doing the consulting. First of all, every one of our members, probably just like you, hardworking, got the education, took the risk, got out of school. Maybe you worked as an associate or a corporate position for a while, but eventually a great number of us want to be in private practice and own the practice. I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but a lot of people, that's been the dream. And the goal is to live a great life. And for us in Freedom Founders is to have freedom. Freedom means you can do what you want to, when you want to, with whom you want to, and where you want to do it. Now, does that mean we don't work? We don't do something we don't have passion about? Of course not. I want to keep, quote, working until I no longer can do something relevant, but it means we can evolve through the process of starting from trading time for dollars, which is what we started early on in life. And let me take you through some quadrants here that I think will explain what I'm talking about, because this is where I think most people don't have clarity, starting at an early age when they just start working and maybe go through school and get out of school. And then as they go through a career path, how they need to be iterating or shifting or moving the model to different quadrants. I'm going to start with Robert Kiyosaki's now famous 4 quadrants. If you haven't read his books, most people have, but grab Rich Dad, Poor Dad or the 4 quadrants. It'll explain this. I'm not a full-out fan of Kiyosaki, but he set some really good frameworks in some of his early works, and that's what I want to use today. So let me flip over to the iPad. Let's talk about these 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is the E Quadrant, and that stands for employee. So we've all had jobs. We've all worked for money at some point in our life when we were going through school and college and graduate school, dental school, whatever we did. Probably coming out of school, most of us didn't start right out with a practice. We probably worked for somebody else, at least part-time, while we were building a practice. So we've had job positions where we've been a W-2 employee. Now today, there's people that actually like that kind of lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that, but it's a choice. It's a choice, and I'm going to show you through the quadrants how you can still get to freedom no matter what path you take. But here's the problem. Most people don't have clarity as to how that pathway works. So we start with E, which is where some people stay, maybe a small percentage. But what's the next step if you don't stay at the E? Well, you want to move and have your own business. That's the self-employed quadrant, quadrant number 2. So self-employed, that's most small business owners today. They want to, quote, be their own boss, right? You have your own practice. You start up a practice. You buy an existing practice. You now own the practice, but you're also the technician in the practice. Read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, to understand the technician versus owner conundrum. It's a big one. We've been trained to be workers, highly skilled workers. We trade time for dollars as a self-employed technician. Even though we own the business, really the business owns us, and we are workers in that business. Freedom, not so much. I don't really talk to too many small business owners that truly have real freedom. They do get called their own shots. That gives some self-satisfaction, but there is a lot of risk, a lot of drudgery, a lot of doing things that really the technician doesn't want to do. So what's the next quadrant? Next quadrant is the B Quadrant. This is the business owner quadrant. So what's a real business? Well, a real business is like a McDonald's. If you go to a McDonald's and walk in to the counter and say, hey, I'd like to talk to the owner, they're going to tell you the owner's not here. There's a manager there, a shift manager, somebody oversees the operations. The owner's not there. In fact, they might say, we only see the owner every quarter. Owner comes by, just checks up on things, has meetings with the manager, perhaps. That's it. The owner probably owns multiple franchises of McDonald's, but is not there in the operations. That's a real business. Now, it doesn't mean if you own a business or a dental practice that you can't also do some of the technical work. Again, that's a choice. That's a choice. But again, most people don't see it that way. They say, well, I'm the technician. I'm going to own a practice, and then I'm going to stay in the self-employed box, really, for the rest of my career. That's where most small business owners, where most small professional practice owners stay, in that box. Again, nothing wrong with that if that's where you want to be. But for most people wearing all those different hats, it doesn't work out well. There's a lot of stress, and there's really no leverage there. There's no leverage with trading time for dollars. So what's next? What's next? If you don't have a real business, if you don't have a real business where you can just do what you want to in that business, but step away from it and have profit distributions from the business without you working it, what's next? Well, the last quadrant, quadrant number 4, is the I, or Investor Quadrant. So the Investor Quadrant is very much a passive quadrant. It means that you invest monies that you have, capital that you have, in other investment assets without necessarily controlling the entity that is the operating entity. So like as a business owner, I can control that entity, but I may not have to work in it. So I'm a little bit more tied to it. As an investor, typically I'm going to be like a silent partner if I'm investing in businesses or in real estate or through the stock market. To be a true investor, I'm going to be more passive. It still means I might want to definitely be involved in choosing my investments and knowing the people that I'm going to invest with, businesses, real estate, whatever it might be. But I'm not going to be in the operations. I'm going to have agreements that give me certain returns, certain structures. That's put together on a real-time basis. And that's really the quadrant that gives you the ultimate freedom. But again, some people don't want to just be passive in investments. Some people would like to have some active involvement or active control as a business owner. And some people still want to do the technical part as a self-employed. And finally, some people love being employed by somebody else where it's a great business, a company. They can go in and do great technical work and go home and not worry about all the other stuff. So you see, those 4 quadrants really do apply to all of us, but we have to decide where we want to be, and do we want to shift through those quadrants over time? How does that look? Let's go back to the quadrants. Let's talk about how you might do that. Let's change colors here. So some people might want to stay in the employee category. In fact, more young people today, I think, than ever before like that, because they don't want to wait to enjoy life and family and have some freedom now. Nothing wrong with that. You just got to keep it in balance. So what if they want to stay there and they don't want to own a practice and be self-employed? They don't want to certainly own a business and try to move up the ladder there. They just want to stay in that employee quadrant. So what's their options? Look, from that standpoint, they can bypass quadrant 2, self-employed. They can bypass quadrant 3, business. They can go right to investor. Yeah, see, you don't have to go through quadrant 2, 3, and 4 to get to investor. You can go right to investor. And that sounds like that's what that person should probably do, because they have decided they want to spend free time, not in business, not managing investments, but spending time with the people they care about or doing hobbies or other things. That's a choice. And look, it's a great choice. Just be intentional. Now, where does the problem come in? It's where they invest their money. And if they abdicate the investment to the traditional financial model, which is what? Wall Street, 401ks, mutual funds, index investing, it's not going to give any kind of a real return pop, or what I call an inflection point, to move the needle, to move those initial capital investments, taking money outside of what it takes to live on and putting that in capital assets like real estate or real businesses and moving the needle. So again, they don't want to be in business. That's cool. Then you need to find places you can put that money into capital assets. Stay away from the tax-deferred vehicles called 401ks, cash balance, and defined benefit plans. Those are sold to you by Wall Street constructs that say, hey, you need to do this. Give the money to us. We'll save you taxes today, but you're going to have to pay the taxes later. They forget to tell you that, or they don't make a big deal of it. Pay taxes later. Oh, by the way, taxes are going to go up, not down. They'll go up. So now you're saving taxes today. Where do you put the savings? Most people put it into lifestyle. So you really turn 180 degrees backwards from what your goals are. Put your capital into real assets, but do it with other people so you don't have to be the operator. That's not what you want to do. If you want to stay in the E quadrant, you don't want to be an operator. You don't want to get dug into that, but you've got to find the right people. That's the key for you. All right. This is a snippet. So if you want to do that, you've just got to dig deeper into what I'm talking about. Let's go to the next one, the self-employed. So self-employed have a couple of choices, right? Self-employed, being here in quadrant 2, may want to move to having a real business. But at the same time, or soon thereafter, they can also go to the investor quadrant. So self-employed can actually move 2 different directions. And I recommend doing it simultaneously. It doesn't have to be a 50-50 approach, but doing it simultaneously, taking some capital and putting into the more passive investments. Again, capital investments, not 401ks, tax-deferred vehicles. See, the problem is that locks your money up. It locks your money up till you're 59 and a half, and you have no control over it. I talk to so many Freedom Founders members who have through discipline have put money in those vehicles, and they have maybe piled up as much as $500,000, $750,000, $1 million, maybe $1.5 million. Well, that's great. But what if they want to, quote, go free or have their investments working for them before age 59 and a half? They can't. You can't access that money until you're 59 and a half. So it's locked up. Now they've tied their money up and they can't go free. They got to stay active working. It's a shame. It's pathetic, but that's what happens. Please don't go there. So again, back to the model here, the self-employed can start moving into business, and they can do the passive investment as in the investor quadrant, moving towards more of a business ownership where you're doing less of the technical work, but having profit distributions because you have other people doing the work. You're going to be a little bit active in that business. You're not totally removed typically, but you've got more people doing the work. You are working on the business, and you've got some capital you're putting into passive investments. All right. Now, let's go to the next quadrant. Some people want to completely leave the self-employed. Just cross that one off, and they want to move everything to the business sector. Now, again, that takes a special breed of a person to do that. It can be done, but it's usually not a person who's really been dug into the technical side. You've had some exposure to the entrepreneurial world. You've had some exposure to people who have built businesses. You're in mastermind groups that show you how to do that. So if you want to do it, it can be done. It's going to take time and effort, but if you can make that pop, if you make that leverage point to owning a business or businesses, now you've got more capital, you're building more net worth, and you can also take some of that capital and start moving it now into the I quadrant. Because at some point you're going to want to pull back the throttle on the businesses. Not completely necessarily, but you're going to pull it back. Well, you still want that passive cash flow coming from capital investment. So again, the I quadrant, which is where I love to put money into real estate, but you can do real estate and businesses, but be a minority partner with good people. That's where you can go. So ultimately, I would say, going back to the quadrants, let's just change colors again. Ultimately, you want to choose and you want to pick to get yourself either to quadrant 3, the business sector quadrant, and or quadrant 4, the investor. You can do both of these, or you can move to one or the other primarily. And realize you can do that whether you want to be in the E quadrant, employee quadrant, or you move up to the self-employed quadrant. You can move where you want to, but you've got to be intentional about it. This is where the major breakdown comes from hardworking professionals who have a lot of capital that runs through their hands, either as an employee or self-employed. Self-employed, I mean, millions of dollars through 25, 30 years go through their hands, through their practice. And yet I find so many by the time their age, late 50s, early 60s, late 60s, have very little to show for all that money that came through. Why? Because they abdicated control to 401ks. They gave it to the financial markets. They did not put time and effort into how to leverage their work, making their money work for them as hard as they work for their money. I'm trying to turn that around today. I'm trying to change the mindsets of hardworking people who have great educations and great work ethics and do great work, but to leverage what you've done and grow that so that you now have options and the freedom not to be stuck in drudgery and having to keep pounding it out, on the same treadmill, dealing with PPO insurance or decreased margins and all the headache that you don't want to do. There's so many different ways to run your life, but you've got to understand that you probably today don't understand what the alternatives are. That's what we do in Freedom Founders. We open the door and show you the alternatives, help you choose your plan based on what you want and who you are. That's the key. Don't follow anybody else's plan. Follow the plan that's designed for you. That's what we're really good at. That's what I love to do. That's my genius model. That's my genius zone, is helping other people design that construct around the 4 quadrants. So if that makes sense to you, love to connect with you at some point. Follow me on my Freedom Founders blog. Follow me at the Dennis Freedom Blueprint podcast, or just jump on board and get a hold of my monthly newsletter. Grab one of my books on Amazon, but there's a place for you somewhere. Love to help you find your way to freedom as soon as possible. Remember, always focus on your freedom, and I'll see you next time.